Good day, Morgan, Brussels. You're listening to the top-rated podcast in Brussels.
Wait, you switch over to English. You got to keep going.
I don't know anymore. I don't know any more than that.
Are you telling me you're not fluent in Dutch?
I am not fluent in many things.
I think Dutch is the least spoken in Brussels.
I speak jive, though.
You speak jive?
Oh, my God.
Like
where's
airplane?
That?
Airplane. You got it.
Excuse me. Do you speak jive? I do speak jive.
And it was that little old lady.
Yeah. And she's like, shit, man, don't let that dude talk to you like that. You're like, right?
I love it. That was a classic.
That was
of the late 80s.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
I think, right?
No.
This is the 70s.
Early 80s, probably.
Early 80s.
Late
I bet
70s.
you're right. You're right. High school.
Yeah. Gratuitous, like,
Google
nicotine
that,
in it, you know? Made no sense whatsoever.
Surely you can't be serious.
What is
I
this
am
movie
serious.
we're talking about?
Airplane.
Don't call
Are you
me
serious?
Shirley.
Are you serious?
Airplane.
Tell me you've never seen
What?
Airplane.
Oh.
And I'm going to come over there and beat you.
Boy, slap you down.
I'm going to beat you.
Oh,
Slap
yes,
you
I have.
silly.
1980.
1980. Good
1980.
call.
Thank you. Thank you very
Good
much.
call. Early
I was a
Tom
little
is
kid.
rarely wrong
I
about
agree.
his years.
He's good on the dates.
I'm
you
really
lost
like,
money from that.
Yeah.
You guys will lose money in the future, too.
And he said he was going
That's
to buy an
the best
air
part.
filter for us. And he just took my 50 and we never got an air filter.
$50
Yeah.
for an air filter?
Well, after I lost the bet on the Sammy Sosa,
That
and you
doesn't
said,
mean
I'm going to get an air filter with it.
That was squaring up a bet. It
I
had
agree.
nothing to do. Like, you make it sound like you were doing a down payment.
Well, no,
on
but
a-
you were nice enough to try to give me my money back after the show, which was nice of you.
What was
and I
the
said
bet
no.
on?
It was on when the Sammy Sosa McGuire.
And it was like shocking how quickly you lost.
Yeah, and I shocking how
I
quickly
could tell
I
that
paid
one
it.
hurt.
By the way,
I could tell that one hurt.
it did because
You were thinking about it for a couple of days.
Well, it did hurt because I generally like to be right on Cubs trivia.
Yeah, you suck.
Yeah, it was bad.
Is it true for?
But wait, let's not forget though. Okay, I paid the bet.
It was great.
He offered to give me my money back, which
I
is
did.
very nice of Tom
I didn't
and
really-
very typical, by the way.
I didn't really want
And
to give the money back, though. I
Understood.
wanted to keep it.
And then you said, you know what? I'm just going to go get an air filter with it for the studio.
Okay, for the
Lindsey,
record.
do we have an air filter right now?
No air filter. We're all masked up.
Why would I?
So anyway,
I don't know.
I took this to the next
I'm just
level. though.
asking.
I took
don't own
Kevin's.
this place.
I took Kevin's $50, and I went to Walmart, which is like huge of me, right?
Yeah.
I went to Walmart in Hammond, Super Walmart.
Yes.
Support.
And I've never been to Super Walmart before.
I haven't either.
Hammond
And I
business.
wandered aimlessly like a lost little puppy looking
What
for.
can I do with a $50 bill in your hand?
Right. And then like I saw no air filters. I saw a lot of space heaters, things like that. No air filters.
You
You
said,
gotta
you
get
know
them at
what?
Home Depot.
I'm
And
just
then
gonna-
everything was like $400. I'm like, this is a bullshit errand I'm on. I got $50 freaking. I'm gonna go
I'm not kidding.
$350.
He comes back with like a mini fan.
Like who really lost?
Just
If I
put it
buy
on
a
the table.
$400 air filter,
You
I'm the
lost.
loser.
You lost.
I was right.
I agree.
I
That's
figured
so
it out
funny.
when I was in Walmart. I was like, this is bullshit.
I'm just going to
Did
take
you really
his money.
go to Walmart?
Yeah, I went to
That is
Walmart.
He
amazing.
called me.
Yeah, and
He's
it
like,
was
I
like,
don't know if I'm going to be able to find an air filter, man.
it's all
It's not
space
looking
heaters.
good.
It was all space heaters.
And they were $400
Yeah.
space.
Okay,
Yeah, dude,
so-
I'm like, this is the bullshit errand I got sent out.
You know,
I'm down
Mariko-
$350.
Mariko just said that he just needs the filter size and he'll get us one.
Whoa.
Really?
What
One
a
of our
guy.
sponsors.
He
My
is.
Serbian
he is
brother.
the best. He
Yeah,
is
man.
the best.
What a guy.
To Virginia.
He's coming to my house on Friday.
I gotta get him in my house.
I got to get him in
My
mine.
air filters are nasty.
I got to get.
Hey, Mariko, let me know if you can fix.
It's like corroded with
ducts.
dust and dog hair and
Can I tell you?
Tell you the truth. When do you think of cleaning out your air filters? You don't.
You don't. Well,
Marinko
okay.
had to remind us.
So we just recently bought a house, right? And we went and got a new washer and dryer. And the guy who came and installed our washer and dryer was like pulling us downstairs. And I was like, oh God. The people who used to own our house built their air duct out of foil
Whoa.
and taped it to the wall.
Not good.
So
Really?
It sounds very unsafe.
I got to get like a new one installed now.
okay.
Yeah.
That sounds unsafe.
Sounds like a job for
Don't get your
Marinko.
dad-
That sounds
Don't-
like a job for Marinko.
don't get your
if you
dad
can
worried,
fix
Lindsey.
Air ducts.
Yeah.
Tom's like, what? Made with
know.
what?
It's okay. It goes directly
It's your
outside.
First home. First homes are supposed to be like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Linz, how about reading? Let's. What do we got for us? And we got a lot to talk about today, by the way.
How you guys? First off, can you guys admire my good, nice Christmas tree that I put together?
Oh,
Very nice.
John, are we in focus? Even though we have the lights on today.
We are so far.
It's very nice. We got a little collection going on.
Great
I know.
decoration.
From now
I
on,
brought
when we
in
have
baby
guests-
ornaments for my baby tree.
From now on, when we have guests, I like the whole thing about your end bringing in a present for us. Like, why am I always bringing in gifts here? So I think
Well, we have had many guests with gifts.
Yeah, if you
I
want to
know.
be on
From
our
now
show,
on-
you got to bring us stuff.
you got to bring stuff.
I think people know that.
Yeah,
They should at least by now.
a lot of this stuff came from my dad's library that I stole from him.
So Mayor Joe Hogg said, if you're listening, we expect a big package from the city of Indianapolis
That'd be
by,
nice.
by
Yeah.
Friday.
That'd
okay,
be great.
you guys ready?
You know what would be great?
Oh,
like
okay.
cult tickets. That would be great. I mean, he's the mayor of Indy. It's
doesn't run
probably
the
so
Colts.
easy for him to get Colt
Are they even
tickets.
having people in person at the games?
Very few.
Yeah, yes, they do.
So maybe it's harder than usual to get Colts.
Well, how about playoff tickets? By then, we'll be back to normal, right? So, Mayor Hogshead, if you're
By
listening,
February?
like I mean, it doesn't have to be a box, but I'm the mayor. It'd be weird if I wasn't in a box. But I mean, if I have to sit like 50-yard line outside with the peasants, that's cool too, you know. But like
50-yard line,
dude,
no, 50
like I'm
yard
elected
line with the
official,
peasants.
50-yard line with the peasants. Yeah, I would be like king of the peasants if I'm on the 50-yard line.
I mean,
I like
down
that.
at the 50.
Right. On the 50.
Not in the
Everybody will
box.
know. It'll be like, okay, that's the mayor. I
Never
got it.
know, like, well, how important is he? Didn't get a box.
And, well, I like to be with the people.
I know you do.
I like to be
I
out
want
with
to
the people.
interrupt your guys' bougie conversation
Bougie?
for my
What does bougie
introduction,
mean?
please. Means
Please.
That's a
bourgeoisie.
It's like a millennial
Fancy.
thing. It's a
Bourgeoisie.
millennial. Because I've been using it lately because, like, I like it. It sounds
Like
cool.
over the top.
I just want to make sure I'm using it appropriately.
Yeah, if somebody's
Fancy.
bougie,
Overly
they're like
fancy.
flashing cash and
Really?
Like at $50
Oh,
you're
that
flashing
is
at
me all
Walmart.
day.
They're
I'm
part of
just
the
like-
bourgeoisie.
I'm
Like
walking
Tom
around
at the
with-
Super Walmart.
Yeah, it was a $50 bill. Who's on
Waving
the $50 bill,
people's-
Lindsay?
I don't know. I don't have $50
Bam.
bills.
That's so easy, John. I know Kevin knows. That's why.
Washington.
Is that
or
Andrew
something?
Jackson?
Washington. That's funny.
Is it Jackson?
No, it was the worst. It was the worst president in history.
But a very
Obama?
big wartime
up
president.
until
Trump?
Up until President Trump took that title from him.
Nixon?
Ulysses S.
General
Grant.
Grant.
Yeah,
Grant?
he was a
I
shitty
wonder,
president.
yeah, I wonder how he got on the... It must have been after the Civil War they put him on.
I mean, come on, the guy won us the Civil War.
Yeah.
right. And then he just because he's
the
a
last
crappy
time
president.
the South rose up.
But you know what?
Oh
As
my
crappy,
God. Can I do my intro?
as crappy of a president as
Oh my
President
God.
Grant was, he still participated in a peaceful transfer of power, which is
Yes, he
unique. Because we have a shitty president right now
might have been
who's
drunk,
not going
but
to participate.
All right, can I do my...
Refused.
Whatever, Lindsay. You want to
Thank
do
you.
your thing? That's
This is
fine.
my only contribution
This
is
besides
nice.
snarkiness.
You do
What
huge-
about the tree? What about the tree?
Look
I
at
did make a tree.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's very nice.
All right, you're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while trying to have way too much fun while doing it. And if you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LOC Pod, LOCPOD. If you can't listen in live, download our episodes from the Apple Podcast or Spotify app and enjoy our show at a crystal clear 410 kilohertz per second. Just search Left of Center and look for our red and blue logo. Also, don't forget to subscribe and rate on all of those applications. And do you have a business? Are you running for office? Do you like to make commercials? Email us at leftofcenterpod@gmail.com and give us money, and we will talk about your business on air, live.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're doing it like by memory now.
Kind of.
I know.
Well,
Close.
the
So
last
smooth.
two, the subscribe and rate and sponsor info, I just kind of improv, so
Yeah.
the
That's
rest
why
of
you're
it
an
is-
actress.
Yeah.
So you're a
Wow.
thespian. Is thespian
Thank you.
Is it both gender? All gender, I should say.
Thespians, yes.
Thespian, you can be a...
That's PN.
Woman,
or is it-
man, or-
that's
It's
poem.
rather than saying actor and actress, it's thespian.
Yeah, I like thespian.
Yeah.
It's like
Hey.
bougie.
Lindsay's getting married on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
How many weeks pregnant are you?
No.
Are you pregnant?
No.
Are you sure?
Is there
Yes.
a shotgun?
Why the hell are you getting married so quick?
Daddy Tom have a
You know
shotgun?
how many people have asked
at
me this,
Brian's
Lindsay?
head?
Everybody's coming up like, is your daughter pregnant? I'm like,
I'm not
no,
pregnant.
I don't think
Even
so.
if I was, I wasn't going to rush a wedding just because of that. I mean,
you weren't
we're
gonna
not in
tell
the
with that.
1950s anymore.
What's wrong with that?
I'm getting married because I need to get off of the Obamacare insurance.
No, you're
And
getting
I know.
married because you're in love, Lindsay.
I'm in love.
Not because of freaking Obamacare.
That's
That's
a
not the
classic
right
answer.
answer.
We're
Because of
clipping
the-
that.
Brian, I'm gonna fix her. I promise, Brian. Like,
I am
there's-
very much in love
poor
with
Brian's
Brian.
out there like crying, listening to
Oh.
you.
He's
It's like
literally
Lindsay just
crying.
said she's getting married
She's
because
getting-
of insurance.
You should never even mention Obama when you're talking about your marriage. Like, Obama doesn't
Thanks,
belong in your
Obama.
marriage. Obama has nothing to do with your marriage.
No, because there's the theories going around on the internet that I'm pregnant.
Is
and-
there's a theory on the internet about this?
Yeah, like, people
Really?
mentioned it to Brian's parents, and yeah.
Are you here to just...
Is it on the chat
I'm here to
boards?
dissuade. Yeah, it's on the Northwest Indiana forums.
It's on the chat boards?
The Times chat boards
It
are
is.
rising
It's
up
on the
again.
chat board.
The comments, they had to turn them off again because
Lindsay
Lindsay is
McDermott.
pregnant.
I'm not pregnant.
Shotgun.
Preggers.
no.
Praggers. Mayor Tom, shotgun
We
wedding
own-
officiates.
Over
We own a
insurance.
house together.
Over Obama. Something about Obama
We're
in
in
there.
COVID. We thought let's elope now and wait until COVID's over, whenever that'll be.
Hey,
'Cause
Linz, I got a way better excuse. Besides the fact you're in love, blah, 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 right?
And insurance.
Blah blah.
This is
blah,
about tax advantages of getting
Tax
married.
advantages.
See, like that's very
See,
Republican.
I'm a consultant because I'm a full-time student right now, and tax season's always a nightmare.
That's right.
So
That's right. So like when people talk to you, don't mention Obama ever again, okay?
why not?
Say,
Because
married
Obama
filing
doesn't belong in
jointly.
your marriage. Like I don't think Brian wants to hear about Obama. I think you talk about like with your future husband, you're like, it's all about the taxes. It's all about the taxes, honey.
It's all about the taxes.
If we get married before the 31st of December, we could file jointly together and save thousands of dollars over
If
the
that's
course
not
of
romance,
Dude,
that's
what
not
it's all
romance. I
about.
don't want it.
That's what it's all about, Lindsay. It's the love, whatever, right?
When you start
it's
talking about taxes, you've
it's
been
about
married too
cold,
long.
hard, freaking cash,
Cold
right?
cash.
Don't
Hey,
mention
look-
Obama when you're talking about your
Okay,
marriage.
fine.
This is my
okay,
marital
okay.
advice.
Gosh,
Yeah.
all right. I understand.
Poor
No
Brian's
Obama.
out there listening about Obama.
He knows we're in love. It's also
he also
beneficial.
knows it's all about the insurance.
But
Yeah,
he's confused about Obama's role in your marriage. That's
This
the
was
thing.
his idea.
Getting
What,
married?
Obama?
Getting married?
What?
Yeah, well, for insurance reasons. Yes.
I think he should call up right now.
What is
Personally,
up,
Brian?
let's get
Yeah,
to the
I'm
bottom
Well,
worried.
of this.
let me explain.
My future
okay?
son-in-law's got it. He can't be shy.
Well, in today's day and age with COVID, we cannot predict when COVID will be over. You think it'll be done by NFL playoffs, but it won't.
It won't be done by
I don't-
the NFL.
I don't
When-
wanna-
You don't even know when the NFL playoffs begin. Even though you're
The
beating
NFL has
Phil
the
this
playoffs?
year.
Well, isn't whatever.
Or Phil.
Yeah.
You're still beating him 7-3.
Now Phil just has a
Yeah, I'm
rash.
kicking his butt. But anyway, so we don't know when COVID will be over. I don't want to plan a wedding and then have to push it back again because COVID still is going on. So we're just going to get it out of the way now. And then when COVID's over, we'll plan the big wedding where a bunch of people will be invited and we won't have to worry about spreading COVID and
And then what's
people
Obama's
dying.
role again? I get confused.
Wouldn't
it be cool if we
I'm
had
on
Obama?
Obamacare.
If we
That's
had
why.
Obama marry you, wouldn't that be cool? He's only in Chicago.
Marissa's marrying me. He's much more, or
That's cool,
she's
too.
much more
Yeah, I think
important
it's
to me.
interesting that you had a choice between Marissa and your dad because they could both do it. You chose Marissa.
I
Well,
know.
Dad
I like
gets
that.
to walk
Oh.
me down the aisle during the actual wedding.
Oh, I have a role.
yeah.
I'm surprised.
You get to go.
I get to write checks and like walk her down the aisle. That's my role.
Well, that's a nice role. You do get to walk her down
I
the
know.
aisle.
What's the over/under on Marissa crying?
Oh.
Oh, 100%
We're-
will cry.
The-
During
yeah, I was gonna say the
this whole
under?
ceremony is like a 10-minute, right? Like, what is the over/under on Marissa crying?
The under,
Marissa
the
will
under,
cry
the under, like
immediately.
meaning no.
Oh, she's definitely gonna cry.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If the
Yeah.
under is no, it's like, like I don't know what the
How
bet
many
would be.
times will
Plus
she cry?
plus 10,000, plus 20,000
What
on
is
the
a
under.
what is a cry? Like we have to monetize
I think
this. somehow.
tearing.
Well, if she has to like stop the service because she's like has to compose herself,
Right.
that's a cry.
I agree.
She'll do it 3 times.
What about having to wipe?
That's the
The-
over/under. How many times?
How many
right?
times?
Oh,
How
like
many
one
times?
or two or
Yeah,
Mhm.
I say like she stops the ceremony. This is a short ceremony, 10
Right.
minutes.
Sure.
She'll stop the ceremony 3 times to compose.
I think that's
herself.
a good over under 3 because I was going to go at 2.
What do you think, Lindsay?
She's
John?
going to start crying immediately.
Under 3 times for me.
Under 3? I'm going to go under 3.
Does this end with someone walking down a Walmart aisle looking for an air filter?
Absolutely.
Hell
And
yeah.
deciding it's
Hell
too
yeah.
expensive.
Eventually, one day we'll make it and we'll get our own air filter in here. So that's
here
when
it
you
is.
know we've made it. As
Thank
a
you,
podcast.
Marinko.
Kevin and I are saying under 3 times.
Yep.
Tom's saying over.
3 or
No,
over.
3 or over.
Yes.
What's the bet?
$50 seems to be the standard bet for LOC Pod.
Okay, so 25 each, Kevin.
I'm
I'm
in
not
it.
putting money on
On your wedding.
It's my wedding. I'm not going to bet on
All right,
my
well,
wedding.
You're
then
getting
the-
married
we're, like,
for tax
monetizing it.
purposes and Obamacare.
The money will go. The money will go as a
And
wedding
love.
gift.
What's
love.
got to do with it?
That
That's
was
right.
such a good impersonation of that song. We're going to get shut off for copyright infringement. Like, you sounded
Facebook.
exactly like that.
Dionne Warwick. Thank you. Is it? No, it's Tina Turner, right?
Dionne Warwick.
Is it Tina Turner?
I
think
think Tina
it's-
Turner.
Let's find out.
Dionne Warwick has a role in this somewhere.
Well, Dionne Warwick,
You
she's a
don't
classic.
mess with me when it comes
You
to
know,
music
song
trivia.
pop.
When it comes to music
That is another.
trivia.
I would never mess with you with music trivia.
Thank
Tina
you.
Turner.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
By the way,
So was Tina Turner.
Whatever.
Representative Andrade said Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr. will be a good dad and pay for the big wedding.
Oh,
Thanks, Mike.
There are expectations now.
Thanks, Mike.
there goes your
Well,
donation
like,
for your
in 2020.
campaign.
I think it's proper for everybody to share equally. I think that's the thing about 2020 that Mike doesn't realize.
We're gonna definitely take whoever wins the bet, Linz. It's just gonna go into a wedding gift. So
Okay.
Mike Andrade bought us drinks last night, which is nice.
yeah, he did. That was real
He
nice.
didn't
of
buy
him.
me a drink. Where were you guys?
We were at show prep.
You think this magic happens automatically?
You think let's talk about
You
it?
guys, you
freaking-
invited me once to show prep, and it never happened again. I
Same
feel really
for me.
let
And look how
down.
good it
Actually.
is.
I know, and yet we're still. You guys
Still
can go to
rolling
show prep.
along.
You know, it's
You
not
never
like,
told
It's the
us.
same place, same
Where do you think we
every
went?
time.
Where do you think we went? It was the
True.
day before our show.
True barbecue is
really?
7:30.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
would have done that, you
basically.
would have been fine. It's like,
You got to tell me. I don't want to show
We're
up.
not-
That's rude.
Just show up. We're there.
yeah.
Whatever.
Now
You guys
all of
sound
our
like the cool
listeners show up
kids
at
at the-
True. We'll
Well,
all
there goes
show prep
and
together.
there goes the show prep.
By the way, Kevin, you notice more people are showing up to True like during our.
yeah,
I know.
They want to say hi, which
cool.
is nice. It's like a little coffee clutch or
We get,
something.
when are we gonna pay some
Book club.
freaking bills?
Let's pay
man?
some bills.
Like this doesn't happen automatically.
Go. Who's up? Me or you?
I'll go.
All right.
Misprint Printing. With both Hammond and Munster locations, Rick Baltonsberger and his team are there for absolutely all of your printing needs. Do you need some Christmas or Hanukkah cards, 2021 calendars, or some really big signs for your business? Rick can do it. Hey, oh, hell. My glasses aren't working very. It's hell. This is the new script, by the way, so bear with me. Hell! They could even wrap a car or truck to promote you and your business. Misprint is responsive, they're fast, and they're good. Call Rick or Teresa at 219-836-2517. Did you like that? How I did the end like that?
I did. That was you geeked.
It's like you
geeked the end.
do the whole thing. You're like, I'll do it again. Why?
Like lead it
Misprint is responsive. Misprint is fast and good. Call Rick or Teresa at 219-836-2517.
Wow, it was like we had another person in here.
Right? It's
I
like
thought-
totally. I'll do. See, you do it real fast. Call Rick or Teresa at 219-836-2517. It's like
Printing.
totally different.
That was good.
I know. See,
You're a man of many voices.
I am. The
Latitude
podcast.
commercial. How's that for a start?
Here. You do.
That's it. That's the spot.
You do.
We're done.
By the way, guys, I checked with Latitude CEO last night.
Yes.
I was just feeling him out, just to make sure that was all good.
If he's going to re-up.
Well, he didn't
Hasn't
mention.
commit yet?
He didn't mention. I don't think he was listening to that podcast. Thank God. But it sounded like all was good. So I think we're in the
Good.
clear.
Let's keep talking about him.
We did not piss off Latitude yet.
Oh, so let's say some more.
Let's talk about-
continue to push the envelope.
They're still sponsoring. Latitude Commercial is a full-service commercial real estate brokerage and property management firm specializing in northern Indiana and the Chicago suburbs. Local tenants and national developers have benefited from their experience in the commercial real estate market. When you select Latitude Commercial, you get Chicagoland expertise with worldwide marketing and networking ability. Whether you're a developer looking to sell, a tenant looking to expand, an investor looking to purchase, or an owner in need of property management services, Latitude can help. Contact Latitude at 219-864-0200 or at latitudeco.com so they can get to work for you.
You want to hear something
should've done
funny?
the ending.
Another thing about Aaron's workplace.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Besides the bar and the
besides the bar and the video games, okay.
and the pool table
So not dad.
and selling baseball
Aaron
cards.
suggested to my fiance to go to this place that his friend Jono opened, which is Crown Point Toys, and he was like, "You should stop by because Brian loves toys." So we decided to go. It is literally next door to Latitude Commercial.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I
Yeah.
bet you he spends like half of his time
You know what's
there.
across the street from Latitude
I hope
Commercial?
Christina's not
barbecue.
listening.
True freaking barbecue.
And
Aaron's busy.
Tavern on Main.
Someone on the other Tuesday show was complaining about Mayor Tom and the Christmas parade on Saturday. What
Oh.
was there to complain
Complaining?
about?
It was
Okay,
a nice.
You know,
It's
wait,
a beautiful
wait a
event.
minute.
Hold on. We
show
got
that
one more.
photo.
We got one more.
All right,
Okay,
one
let's
more.
get through that.
All
We'll
right,
jump
all
into
right.
that.
Thank
We
you,
got-
John.
John,
You guys are
don't
trying
piss
to
him
derail
off.
the damn show.
Do
Complaining.
we have noise of a
my
train
parade
derailing?
game. My parade game is on A.
We got to
All
talk
right.
about that.
Get
yeah.
to the sponsor so we can talk about this.
I said
'cause
that.
You're
My
riled up.
glasses are off.
I saw
My
that.
parade game
I
is
saw that.
fire, man. It's just like don't you,
Sorry, the glasses almost fell off my head.
don't be talking crap about my parade game.
See how pissed off he gets when you take on his parade
You
game?
can tell me a shitty mayor. Don't tell me my parade game isn't strong. My
He's
parade
very
game is
proud of his parade
We have
game.
a picture to prove it.
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's a great photo. Let's do it.
Midwest
Let's,
air duct cleaning. Are your allergies going crazy this winter? Is your heater not as effective as it was last year?
Yes.
There's nothing to be worried about. Your air ducts just may need a cleaning. For quality and affordable air duct cleaning, contact Marinko at 219-671-8868 or at MidwestAirDuctCleaning.com for an estimate. Mention Left of Center or LOC Pod for a 10% discount. They also have discounts for seniors.
Oh God.
They also have discounts for seniors, first responders, and veterans. See?
Well, you know,
That's
My commercials
brilliant.
are way better.
you could be
than yours.
a
I
you could
agree.
be a voiceover.
That's right.
You could just be hired for
I know.
commercials. If you could just read it
You
smoothly.
just, I know.
If
You
you had
do
my
not-
ability to
See?
read smoothly and your voice,
You
I
do
know.
not need
you're in.
Tom McDermott for a voiceover, y'all. Hire
I have a
Lindsey
new career.
McDermott
I'm looking for a new
the
career.
thespian.
the thespian.
My next career is going to be voiceover because I certainly don't have the face for commercials, but my
You
voice.
definitely do not.
I agree.
Come on, Linz.
I'm shooting for a new career.
He's known as a good-looking mayor.
I have half his genes. I understand. I know where he's.
Only the good half.
Wow.
So about that parade.
Yes.
Can we show that photo? This
Yes.
is credit
Chris
photo to
Mallman.
Chris Mallman from Northwest Indiana Life. This photo,
Excellent photo.
I
that
think
he sent us
encapsulates
It's hard.
Tom's party game or parade game.
Parade game. My
with
parade
his
game is
fancy
strong.
Meyer bag because Eva couldn't make it and we didn't have the bag. So
It's
we had
coming
to
up soon.
Stick with the Meyer bag.
This photo, I was just like, I mean, if you look into your eyes, you are focused.
I love it when Kevin looks in my eyes like that.
Look at
Aw.
this. I was
That's
just
very
checking. I mean,
I can't see it.
okay, here.
It's gonna.
What do you mean?
Oh, is that up? Oh, look at that.
Look at
So
look at the candy in midair just falling.
That's a really good picture.
That's the good candy too.
Now,
Yeah.
who could complain about you in parades?
I about had a damn heart attack when I was done with it, though. But yeah,
I'm
it
always
was a
worried
good
about
parade.
Jake trying to keep up with you.
I am worried about Jake trying to keep up with me too, and he does. Man, he's been doing it for years.
He's a Marine.
Yeah.
According to Laura, she who must not be named was complaining about Dad not wearing a mask.
Looks like
and
he's
this
wearing a mask
photo
there.
is proving that he was wearing a mask.
Who said
So
that?
She who must not be named on the other radio.
Oh, really? Who cares about that lady?
He
Seriously.
wasn't wearing a mask. All right.
yeah,
all
well,
right.
here's
He wasn't
photo
wearing a
evidence that
mask.
he's wearing a mask. so-
I don't.
I mean,
honest to God, I don't give a crap about her. Like, she sucks. She
I
really
think
does.
you were wearing a mask. I mean,
I was wearing a mask.
the entire
probably.
time.
Well, I mean, I'm sure.
Well,
you had
like
it.
honestly,
was wearing
like
the
I was
mask
breathing
he's
super
currently-
hard. So like
Yeah.
the mask I was wearing was going in my mouth because I was like,
I saw you take a break.
No, I'd
take
pull
your
it down
mask on.
'cause I
Yeah,
didn't catch my
absolutely.
breath, but-
so then someone takes a picture.
I
Look,
don't
Mayor
give a
Tom's
shit.
not wearing
Honestly,
a mask.
Like, it doesn't faze me like at all.
I
Like,
thought this photo's awesome, by the way, and I thought kudos to your team getting the parade off, and it was
honestly,
awesome.
like, even if we had access to her as a guest, she's not smart. She's
Oh my
not
God.
interesting. She's not. She sucks. Like, it sucks to listen to her. Like I can't
Damn.
believe that they would build a whole morning out of that lady. I just don't. She sucks. Like, and she's an asshole.
Oh, I like good sound effect, John.
So like, that's just a downer. Just bringing her
I'm
name
not
up.
sure where the credibility comes.
All right,
but-
let's move forward
Yeah.
now, please.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I think some of the people that watch on Tuesday want to compare the two, and I just don't really care. They honestly, I tune in on the way here to see how many views they had. They had like 32 viewers or
Not that
something
we're
stupid
comparing.
like that. I am comparing because I think it's funny. They have
Don't
this.
compare as I compare.
We
They have
don't
a
need to. We're a
multi-million-dollar
podcast.
station. They have a multi-million-dollar station, and we get more views and more listens than they do
They must have a
every
lot of
time we go on
listeners.
air. Every time we go on air, we beat them. So like, obviously, whatever they're doing over there is not good.
Ooh, let's get off of
They
this
are not.
train.
Let's get some
they are not the
sponsors here.
top-rated
This is
podcast in Belgium, like
Do
we
you
are.
want to be featured on our podcast where we talk crap about other radio stations?
We're not a radio
Yeah, right,
station.
right.
Give us money.
Don't say other. We're not other. We're
Hey,
not a
by
radio
the way, on Friday
yes,
we got a big show. Did you
Yes.
notice? Did you notice? By the way, when we had Mayor Dave, I was on my best behavior.
you were.
I know
You
because
said a
you're
curse word
responsible.
twice.
I did not. Not on Dave's.
You did
Really?
twice.
But anyway,
I count bullshit.
It doesn't-
So
I just said bullshit.
you said it twice.
But anyway, I think like when we have a guest, especially Friday's guest, not that Dave's not, if we have a big guest that we think a lot of people are going to be listening to, because they could
We'd hope
listen
so.
like a year from now.
Mayor of Indianapolis.
Right. They're like, oh, Joe Hogsett was on Left to Center. So they like pull it up, and I want to make sure that the whole script is clean. Like,
Oh.
I got this idea.
Are you
from,
warning me, or are you like warning
No,
yourself?
I got it from Conan O'Brien. I'm warning myself. Because Conan O'Brien, it was funny. Sona Masessian, who's on his show, they're really good friends.
Yeah.
And she said something on the Hillary Clinton episode. And Conan was like, really? You're going to do this on the Hillary Clinton episode? Like, everybody's going to listen. And she was talking about, like, edibles or marijuana or something like that. And he's like, really? You're going to talk about marijuana on the Hillary Clinton episode? And I was thinking,
So
when you
you're
have a big guest.
reassuring Mayor Joe that all will be good on
Yeah,
Friday.
on that show. Like, on that show, we're going
Not
to be
on
clean.
this one.
No, on this show, I'm going to let loose. But, like, on that show, it's clean. Speaking of letting loose,
You know what? I was gonna,
is flatulence like a symptom of COVID?
No.
Ew.
I think
Incontinence.
flatulence.
just a daily occurrence.
Flatulence.
probably.
Incontinence is you can't, right? Flatulence is like.
Incontinence means you
Right?
can't control your bowels.
Good,
or,
great sound.
So it kind of goes.
I
with
think
it.
that flatulence is a COVID symptom
That's
because
gas.
last week, Rudy was testifying in Michigan. Rudy Giuliani, the
Our
former
favorite Rudy.
America's mayor, formerly America's mayor. I'm now America's
You are
mayor.
America's mayor now.
But formerly America's mayor, right? Rudy Giuliani testifying in Michigan, and not just farted once, and it was a silent one.
No, it wasn't. It was a little. It was,
It was
just
a little
small,
like it was like
one.
like one of
Yeah.
those, right? But it was caught audibly because the sound is really
microphones.
good. But the second one he let, it was like he actually pissed off his co-counsel.
I
She
think look at
him
the
like-
lady next to him.
Like
That'll
she
tell
looks
ya.
at him like, do we have a video of this, right?
We do.
All right.
Oh, we got to go here.
Unfortunate.
We gotta
John's
go
like,
here.
oh boy.
All right, you ready? Shh.
not part of that.
I will ask that he be disciplined for that. First of all,
hold on.
First of all, what he says is untrue. Second, that was
for
the
that.
first one.
See, hold it. Could you play it again?
You're attempting to see.
It really, the first one's hard to get, hard to hear. But the lady heard it because she looked at him like, "Did you just fart?"
this.
Like you could tell.
Okay.
I will ask that he be disciplined for that. First of all,
hold on.
See, let's go to number 2. Number 2 left a mark for sure.
This doesn't leave any doubt as to what Rudy.
Number 2 definitely left a mark. There was some cleanup involved after that one.
Mr. Barr and others who have disproven a lot of
I gave you the
you have
answer.
a point of order?
The answer that I gave you is they didn't bother to interview a single witness.
Oh!
Just like you, they don't want to know the
you got to
truth.
do that one more time.
Well, you
Show
probably know the truth.
Pay attention if you're watching this on video. Pay attention to the woman next to Rudy.
Mr. Barr and others who have disproven a lot of
I gave you the
you have a
answer.
point of order?
The answer that I gave you is they didn't bother to interview a single witness.
Oh,
just like you.
Damn, dude.
They
tell
don't want
me.
to know the truth.
I
you
heard
probably know the
somebody
truth.
say on another podcast he was Tootie Giuliani. Now he's Cootie Giuliani with COVID.
I just think, honestly, that he was showing the world right there that he had symptoms of COVID, and I think flatulence is definitely a part of the COVID symptoms.
It could possibly be. We don't know everything about COVID.
I think Rudy is teaching us that, like, when you're about to go down,
he's asking for help.
If you start blowing loud farts audibly, I think that's a symptom.
Maybe the sweating, the hair dye was also another symptom.
We're learning things from America's former mayor.
I'll tell you, poor Rudy Giuliani had a pretty rough 6 weeks. I mean, started with Borat and the release of that.
You're right, man.
Movie,
he had
he was melting.
Then he hosted the presser at the Four Seasons landscaping company next to the dildo shop, not the Four Seasons Hotel in Philadelphia.
If once I saw one dildo, I'd cancel the press. I have a general rule in City Hall. Like, we do not do press conferences with dildos anywhere near
dildo
me.
shops anywhere
I'm
near me.
I'm counting
sweat
that word as
you
a bad
are?
word.
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Dildo
Sweat his hair dye out. He blew his snot into his handkerchief and then
And then he put it
wiped
on
the
his
snot
face.
side on his face.
That
was bad.
America's former mayor.
And then he has this flatulence issue.
And he's
COVID positive and shuts down the Arizona and Michigan legislatures because of it.
His meat suit's right.
It's a good 6 weeks for Rudy.
What do you think there, Bez? Like, defend America's former mayor for
Or just
me,
say
would you?
poor Rudy.
I will say I think he's had better days, but let's be honest, he's working his ass off,
He is.
guys. I mean, he's a hard worker.
Yeah, I get it.
He-
It's not his
working.
fault.
He-
He's always under par. Okay, like
He's working. I just wonder if he's going to get disciplined over all this. We'll find out what will happen. I mean, I want to see if he get. Some of these lawsuits are so frivolous. It's amazing.
Yeah, his client is the president of the United States.
Agreed.
So, right. I think you
It's
get
not-
some latitude when your client
You
is
may,
the president.
but I still
Right.
don't think you should waste the court's time.
you should be able to accomplish things as a lawyer if you're going to be representing the president of the United States.
Well, and I would think he'd have a better team. I mean, not that Rudy's.
I agree with you, Kevin.
I mean, like
is this the best we can do? A guy with freaking mascara dripping down the side of his face?
that was hairspray and hair dye.
It was disgusting. Like, seriously, the guy represents the president. He's blowing farts in the Michigan legislature. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is America.
He's
For
just,
God's sake.
he's just lost a little bit of respect. I think, so. That's like the shotgun wedding theme.
No, that's my theme for Hillbilly America. You guys.
Are you saying Rudy Giuliani's a hillbilly?
It's just representative of a hillbilly America. It really is. Like, this is the best the president could do. This freaking Joker.
Well,
This Joker that almost pulled his stuff out in Borat. Like,
I guess
he was.
Yeah, I mean, my big question is if Rudy's the lead counsel, where, like, it's just what happened to the other great big law firms? They didn't take it. They
There's
wouldn't
so many
take the
good
case.
lawyers in America. There's so many good lawyers. Seriously.
yeah, and they're not
You're
taking
looking
the
at one.
cases.
That's right, Kevin.
I don't think I would have
Kevin,
taken
you would do it. I know
wouldn't-
if you were in
I wouldn't have
Borat.
taken the case.
If you were in Borat, you wouldn't
Unless
be
you were
going.
president, I
You
guess.
wouldn't be going down the front of your pants if you were in Borat. I know that.
I
about
hope
you.
not.
You would not be.
I hope not.
You would not be.
God.
I know that about Kevin Smith.
I hope
I think that was
wouldn't
some
be.
careful editing
What's that?
in Borat.
Well, that's what people are
Please.
saying, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he wasn't acting because he was getting spoofed.
Is he married?
Yeah, he's married.
Like, yeah,
married?
many times.
Okay.
I think
He's married again.
I think his rep. You could look that
How
up, but
many
I'm not
times
gonna.
has
I'm
he
not gonna
been
sit here and
married?
disparage the guy in that regard. But you can look up his rep, John.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Changing subjects. What are you watching on TV right now? Because I'm watching. Marissa and I are watching 11/22/63, which is a Stephen King show about the assassination of JFK.
Did you write the book, or who wrote
I
the
read
book?
the book. He wrote the book,
Okay.
and then I'm watching the show, and it's an 8-part miniseries. and it is spectacular.
So this is you say binge it during the holiday season.
I've already watched the first 2 episodes, and it's just like the book. It's really, they made it 8 hours long, so that 8 episodes, so that they could be accurate to the book. It's so good. Like 11/22/63. If you're a JFK fan, a JFK assassination fan, like those people that read about it and study about it, and if you like a good Stephen King flick, and it involves some time travel, it is so good. And I'm not even a sci-fi person.
Netflix, Hulu, what's it on?
It's on Hulu, yeah.
Hulu.
It's really, really good. 11/22/63, which is the date JFK was assassinated. That's the title. 11/22/63.
Wow. I finished Queen's Gambit. Awesome. Of course, a million people have watched that. John, you mentioned Yellowstone the other day. I tried watching Yellowstone first episode. Number one, it's like a 2-hour first episode.
It is.
Is
it always 2 hours?
No.
It was okay. I know you're into it, and maybe I'm going to give it a second chance over the holidays. But that's a big recommend by you, right?
I blew through all 3 seasons so fast.
Wow.
Really?
To me, it's
Kevin
one of the
Costner.
best shows ever made. Yellowstone.
It's
All right. I'm going to give it another chance.
It's like mob stuff in Montana.
Yeah. It's
It's amazing. Tom, you know how much I highly regard Mad Men, right?
John and I share that.
To me, it's like up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yellowstone.
Mad Men, though, John. Like,
oh my God.
When I watched Mad Men, I was getting emotional in the last season because I knew it was coming to an end, and I was like stressed about it. Like, oh my God, that show. It's probably one of my. I mean, Sopranos is my favorite show of all time, but
Sopranos,
Mad Men.
Breaking
written
Bad.
by the same.
Breaking Bad, Ozarks. Those are like
Ozark's
top.
great. Game of Thrones.
I never seen it.
Love Game of Thrones.
I haven't seen one episode.
I've
John?
watched every
Oh,
episode,
yeah.
read every book. That's
Really?
That's my
John, you
jam.
see Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I can
John's
see
a huge
that.
fan. We've actually done some watching of that together when it was
We have.
the last season. We did
Really?
some- yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cute.
that
That's
was
cute.
an awful.
It was
horrible
good.
last
Were you guys
It
by
wasn't.
yourself?
It was a hotel room in Vegas. We just have.
It's a hotel room and
Are you serious? You guys
No.
are.
No, there was.
Is there something I should know about?
no.
Really?
We're just
No,
watching
you-
Game
you
of
know
Thrones.
about
We were
it.
into it.
Yeah.
You got to watch Game of Thrones, then you'll know.
I don't know.
There's,
So
you,
there
guys,
was.
you guys probably played Dungeons and Dragons too, you dorks.
That's what we
yeah,
call
maybe
it.
like you didn't.
That's our code
like
name.
you didn't.
Want to roll the 20-sided dice?
Tom, remember when one of
called
the
a
Mad Men?
tetrahedron.
Remember when one of the?
That's not what it's called. It's,
It's
a
called
nat
a
20.
tetrahedron.
Whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm leaving. I need new guests for this podcast. We're dropping to second in Belgium.
Yeah.
As we speak.
When you throw a tetrahedron, it goes way down.
What else? What else is out there?
I mean, Crown, but we talked about that a couple times.
I got
You
one.
guys have a weird taste in television.
I got a good one.
Well, what are you watching, Linz?
I'm watching The Mandalorian.
oh, of
Oh.
course. Gotta watch. That's a
I am a
no-brainer.
huge fan of Star Wars, and this show is phenomenal.
Hey, I heard you
Nerd
were
alert.
pregnant. Is it?
Nerd. Tom's like, let's go back to
I
pregnant.
have Baby
You
Yoda
being
on top
pregnant.
of my Christmas tree,
It's
actually.
Baby Yoda.
Is that
That's
going to be
what
the name of
they're
your first child?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Hello, Baby Yoda.
You know, they
Moff
they
Gideon.
revealed his actual name in the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He has
And
an
then they
actual
killed
name.
him off. I can't
Is that the
believe
Yoda
it.
They did
that developed?
not.
Is that the Yoda that comes around in Star Wars later on? Is it the same character?
Oh my God, Dad. Okay, so
Is there
I
like
don't know the
Yodas?
answer
Is
to
like
that
like a
either.
race of?
the events of the Mandalorian takes place after the original trilogy, but before the
boy.
sequel.
Oh
trilogy.
shit! Look at that. We're dropping. We're dropping customers like crazy. God damn! It's like dropped like 50%.
Oh my
As soon as we start
God.
talking about this,
Can we talk about? Can we? I don't know if we finish. Go ahead.
Can I throw one movie
Yeah,
out there?
I wanna talk about
It's
Hogshead a
worth
little bit.
everybody's time. Yeah, we got to talk about Mayor Joe. That's Friday. But this movie is on. I forgot. I think it's Netflix. It's called The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Saw it.
Isn't it amazing?
John,
No.
I'm
have
telling
to
you.
see it.
This is a must see for everybody listening, right? The Trial of the Chicago 7. It's about the 1968 convention.
Yep.
And it's got Sasha.
Yeah, Borat,
Cohen.
right?
Baron
Borat.
Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen is. I forgot the name.
I forget
Trump
who he
has called
acts,
him a
who he-
low IQ individual or something.
Yes, he has. So
Of
even
course,
more
yeah.
reason to watch
He's
it.
higher IQ than Giuliani, that's for sure. Like, I don't know where the president's lawyer ranks in that, but he was completely fooled by Sasha. But
Trial
just
of Chicago 7 is really good.
highly recommended.
I watched it while on
Marissa got me-
quarantine.
You guys got all these dramas.
No,
like-
Lindsay, this is so good. It's a courtroom drama, but it is so good.
And it's good to kind of remember. You forget that whole episode, and obviously I'm sure they take some liberties with it, but it's very, very good and good to remember what was going on. It has to do about like the Attorney General and the switch over from Johnson
you
to
guys
Nixon.
are such
and
nerds.
No,
I swear
this
to
is so good.
Really,
Legal
really
nerds.
good. Lindsay, you'll like it. It's like
You guys make fun of me for liking Star
social
Wars,
unrest.
but legal nerds are like a whole other level of nerd.
At least it's like real life.
Damn.
this is like social
Hey,
unrest,
listen,
1968, summer of the What is Summer of Love?
When you were in high
69.
school,
69 was summer.
when I was in high school,
Our birth year.
I was not
Yeah.
a geek. But I was not a jock either.
a
I was
lie.
just sort of like
He was a scrawny wrestler.
I like blended with everybody. I
Blended
was like
with
one of
both.
those. I wasn't cool though. I definitely was not cool.
I was not cool.
You
You
still
were
aren't.
cool. You were one.
No,
of the
I
cool
hung out
kids.
with the jocks.
You were a cool kid.
and I was a nerd. So
You were in the group though. You
I
were
was in the
hanging
group.
with the cool kids, right?
I was hanging with the cool
I was
kids.
not hanging with the cool kids. I was
Bobby
hanging with
Lindsey
the-
is telling you to watch Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh, I read that book.
I heard that was. You read that book?
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that book.
When I read the book, it reminded me so much of my upbringing.
No kidding.
Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Like the person that wrote that book grew up in a similar type of situation. I mean, his was way worse. Don't get me wrong. It was extreme poverty. But it reminded me a lot of my childhood reading that book. And then he ended up going to like Yale Law School.
Yeah, he
ended up
did.
being- right. But
Yeah.
like
was it West Virginia or Tennessee? I forget. Or
West Virginia.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm almost positive. I've read it a long time ago. But yeah, that was a great book. I didn't see the
There's
movie.
a movie now.
Sounds like
According
it.
to Bobby
Unless
Lindsey?
Bobby Lindsey's lying.
It's on
He
Netflix.
wouldn't lie.
Bobby Lindsey might be lying.
He's
you know?
not lying.
You can't, yeah.
He wouldn't lie.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. What the hell is going on with Buttigieg right now with Mayor Pete?
I haven't seen him doing anything.
Been very
That's-
quiet.
Well, that's the point, Lindsay, is
Wasn't he like? I feel like he's been waiting on like a cabinet position. For
Yeah.
I think that's
Biden.
right.
right. And then like,
He's just trying to stay off the radar.
but like Biden's announced dozens of picks, and Mayor Pete, who you would think would be pretty high up in the administration, has not been announced. And by the way, like I realize that Biden wants to announce people that are, you know, African American, people that are Hispanic, but Mayor Pete's, you know, besides being a white male, he's also LGBTQ.
Yep.
He's, you know,
It's an important part.
Like-
I mean, maybe
like for
Veterans
him-
Affairs. What do you think? What's he got?
I think that's really what he's like. He was asking for ambassador to the United Nations. That's been filled.
Mm-hmm.
He was asking for a foreign policy post, like an ambassador position. I guess he still could get
sure,
that, right?
but I would think a cabinet position is.
But
more
like, yeah,
important.
an ambassador isn't like a cabinet position.
Not
But
at all.
like maybe Veteran Affairs, maybe that's still,
What's out there? I mean, Secretary of State's been filled, right, John? That was
They
one
filled
of Biden's.
Department of Interiors.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Secretary of State's been filled. I don't
Yeah,
know
it
any
was
of these
the-
people.
It was the guy
Biden's
that was his
picking.
foreign policy.
I wouldn't think they would choose Buttigieg for Secretary of State.
He wouldn't
Went
be
from a
bad.
mayor to Secretary of State in one step.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's a big
significant.
leap.
It is, but I mean,
Right.
you know, he's got good. I mean,
It'd be a big
he's
leap for
smart
Veteran
dude.
Affairs
I think
too, by
he
the
would
way.
be. I think he would be an excellent pick for Veteran Affairs for sure.
Why? I
Because
mean,
he's a veteran and he's young and he's got
okay.
that energy and
I think he'd be good.
People
He's a
respect
smart
him.
dude. He's a smart dude.
people on both sides of the aisle respect him. They like him. I think he could get a lot done.
Yeah.
We'll
I was
see.
trying to see my
Yeah.
notes from who was Secretary of State, but I can't find it. Oh well.
yeah.
All right. What else we got?
What do you got?
I want to talk about Mayor Joe because that's going to be a great guest.
Yeah, talk about him.
So-
by the way, he's a huge fan of the show, which is
Yeah, he
nice.
is.
We
Well,
got to clarify which Joe.
Joe Hogsett.
Joe Hogsett, Mayor Joe. The other Mayor Joe is not Mayor Joe anymore. We're talking
The
former
ma-
mayor.
the
Former
mayor-
Mayor Whiting is not Mayor Joe anymore.
The mayor of Indianapolis, 11th or 12th largest city in the country, and he's going to be on our show. And
I know.
we've known Joe, Mayor, you've known Joe for 20 years.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to bring it up with him. When I was running for mayor, the Indiana Democratic Party invested like $20 or $30 or $40,000. I don't. It was a big number in my candidacy, and I remember sitting down with Chairman Joe Hogsett and his assistant Dan Parker at the time, who Dan ended up becoming chairman of the party, and they
Great
donated.
chairman.
I want to say more like $40,000 or $50,000 in my campaign for mayor when
For
I was
young
running
Tom
against-
McDermott.
Yeah, and I was a nobody, and those guys were a big reason why I got elected the first time. And I've always been close to Mayor Joe ever since then. I've always been close to Dan Parker ever since then.
Both real close to Evan. Those guys are both close with Evan Bayh,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
in his campaigns.
Absolutely.
Mayor Joe Joe Hogsett was also U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana.
Secretary of
under,
State for Indiana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Was he?
yeah, absolutely.
He won that?
Yeah, he was
I
one
gotta
term.
look that up.
He
Okay.
did it. I think he was caucused
Oh, he filled it when Bayh became
governor, right?
Yep.
And then I'm not sure if he was successful when he ran statewide, but that's the story of the past few decades for Democrats running in Indiana. It's been a pretty hostile state for Democrats.
It's just crazy that you think that like Bayh won easily and is reelected as governor. O'Bannon won as governor.
But Bayh was bigger than life when he, when
Agreed.
he was senator. Like he was, back when my dad was mayor and back when Evan Bayh was governor, the press was more like laudatory towards.
Well, and you got his dad, Birch Bayh, was
Right.
kind of a legend.
Right.
So
For sure. But like back then though, like the press would be your ally. Like when my dad was mayor, the press was my dad's ally. My dad got BJ article after BJ article. It was like, I read his press. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, like nowadays I would barf on the paper if they wrote that stuff. They just don't. But like back then, dad could like, drop $1 in somebody's coin cup and you get a front page article out of it. It's like no matter what he did, and Evan Bayh was very similar in that regard. Evan Bayh was treated like he was like a god, an Indiana god, and that's hard to run against that kind of stuff. You know,
even in Indiana, which is now considered a pretty, red state, very red.
So
state.
the interesting thing about Evan right now is his kids are making to Indiana.
Appearances.
Well, yeah, and they weren't born in Indiana. They were born in D.C. And they didn't grow up in Indiana. They were raised in D.C. They didn't go to school in Indiana. They went to school at like Harvard, Yale, stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, during Woody Meyer's campaign, Evan's oldest son, I forgot the kid's name, is
one of the twins.
He's appearing. Yeah, I'm sorry, one of the twins, but he's making appearances to try to help the Democratic governor get elected. And it's like
It's a while ago now.
But like
a lot of the electorate.
I tell you, man, that rubs me raw. It does, because like this isn't like royalty. You're not royalty. You're like, you got to earn your. Not because your last name is Bayh, it doesn't do shit for me. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean, if it's Evan or it's Birch, right? They have credibility because they were here, they did things, they were governor, they were senator,
absolutely,
right?
No doubt about it. Birch, obviously, Hoosier,
unbelievable,
through and through, famous Hoosier, and then Evan, Secretary of State, and maybe I'm sure people were complaining when he becomes Secretary of State, but he won, and then he becomes governor, and then like he becomes
senator,
the legend that we know as Evan Bayh. But like Evan was born in Indiana and raised in Indiana. He had Indiana roots. Now you
went
have
to Virginia and then IU, I think. Right?
So you have two kids. They have really very few connections to Indiana other than their last name. And you watch. They're going to be in the scene.
I would talk to Mayor Joe.
I wouldn't be surprised to see one of the twins move to Indiana, or if not both of the twins move to Indiana. And then you'll see in 2 years when the Secretary of State's race comes up, I would not be shocked to see their name on the ballot. I would not be shocked at all.
That helps Indiana Democrats. It'd be interesting to see, and we'll see what kind of reception they get. So. All good questions for Mayor Joe on Friday. And I want to talk about just Indianapolis and what's going on down there, because, we tend to think when the legislature's rolling, they're just helping Indy, they're just helping Marion County. But I don't think they're necessarily just rolling out the red carpet.
I think Mayor Hogsett feels a lot like Northwest Indiana Democrats does, because I know that the mayor of Indianapolis is treated with disrespect by the legislature. He is. I mean, they treat him like they treat us, which is, you're a Democrat, why should we do anything for you?
Didn't they do something to the city county council recently?
Yeah, well, they did the judges thing that they do to us. Is like, if you're a Democrat in Indiana, you can't elect your own judges. You have to go through a panel. And if you're a Republican county, then you could vote for your own judges, which is clearly discriminatory. And quite frankly, we should just file a lawsuit and challenge it, because it's ridiculous. Like, if we have to go through the panel in Democratic counties like Lake, St. Joseph, Marion, Vandenberg. Well, Democratic counties have to go through these special processes to elect a judge, and then right over there in Porter County, they get to hold elections for all their judges.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, look, if you choose merit selection and that's the choice, then have at it. Just have all 92 counties have merit selection, but don't have this mixed system, because it just makes everybody feel like, why are we doing it different? I'm not against merit selection. We've got a great bunch of judges, but at the same time, I just think it's fair that everybody should be doing the same thing, and that's important.
But it's going to be great having Joe Hogsett on Friday. We're looking forward to it. I think it's our biggest guest so far. Right?
I'm excited.
How'd that come about, guys? Just a big fan of the podcast, and
he listens.
He listens to the podcast. Both he and Dan Parker are friends of ours. They texted the mayor. I heard from Dan. Mayor Joe's been in contact. He wants to come on.
That's awesome.
I think it's great.
This is the big leagues, guys.
It is.
So be ready, Lindsey. Get a good night's sleep, Lindsey, on Thursday.
This is just how we also are going to get the Prime Minister of Belgium, too, one day.
We are going to get
our Prime Minister?
Alexander De Croo.
Wow.
Dude, let's reach out.
We will. Well, this is it. We're reaching out right now. Alexander, Minister Alexander.
To our Belgian listeners?
Yeah.
Was he Prime Minister?
He's Prime Minister. He's a politician and businessman.
Oh.
He was elected in October 2020.
Mr. Prime Minister.
If you're listening, the crew, please come on at LOC Pod.
Hey, what's the question from the internet? What's the thoughts on a food and beverage tax on small businesses in 2021?
Has that been floated?
I've heard Hobart talking about it. I think Gary's talking about it. But if this is ever going to happen, it has to be, first off, a food and beverage tax in Indiana can only be passed by the county. It can't be passed by the cities. So, so if Mayor Snedeker wants to go that route, if Mayor Prince wants to go that route, that's the first hurdle they have to get over, is allowing cities to vote for a food and beverage tax.
In other words, local control.
Right, local control.
Well, let's talk about food, because the way the question was phrased, it makes it sound like it's a tax on small businesses. Mayor, why don't you explain what a food and beverage
tax isn't a tax. It's an additional tax. It's a tax on your customers, basically. Like, if I go to True right now, which is going to be our next commercial, but by going to True, if there was a food and beverage tax in Munster or in Lake County, it would be 1% above what I paid for at True. So if my bill was 100, my new bill would be 101, and that extra $1 would go to the county that passed it, or the city, if that was allowed, that passed it. So,
or a portion of it would be apportioned, however they decided to apportion it.
Right.
Yeah, and right now we don't have food and beverage tax.
And being honest, so like my thoughts, the county can pass it. The county has the ability to pass it right now. They haven't even talked about it. There's no will, in my opinion, political will at all to pass it in the county. So now that the cities are talking about it in Lake County, they have to get it approved by the General Assembly before they could even move forward. And I'll be honest with you, I just don't see it happening.
I don't either. I don't think there's the political will that, like you said,
I agree, because the General Assembly does not like new taxes, and they don't like to let cities and towns do their own thing. They really don't.
Well, I mean, you've asked for the ability to tax fireworks and gas for, I don't know,
fireworks
how long.
and gas. Like, it makes total sense. It doesn't affect really hardly any Hoosiers at all, but the legislature won't let you do it. And I seriously don't see them allowing Hobart and Gary to move forward with that. I mean, if they do, God bless. But I just don't see it personally.
All right. Let's pay some bills and come back.
All right. True Barbecue in Munster and Crown Point. You don't have to go to Chicago to find good food and a fine dining experience. True Barbecue in Munster has all of that and more. Stop by and take a look at our menu full of great salads and barbecue favorites with some new twists on old classics. Choose a drink from our extensive list of whiskey-based cocktails, or stick with one of your favorites, like Mayor Tom's Vodka on the Rocks with the muddled lime. Located at 8940 Calumet Avenue in Munster. Come visit us and
What's
enjoy
a muddled lime?
True Barbecue. 8940 Calumet Avenue in Munster. True Barbecue. Don't forget about their location on the Crown Point Square.
Thank you to Representative Mike Andrade for buying our drinks last night.
Yeah, that was
Thank
nice.
you, Rep. Andrade.
Nice
and by the way, how about, he's not in there just, I'm just going to sit around and have a drink and watch the football game. He's got all his, he's meeting with one of his legislative aides. He's talking about bills he wants in. He's got all this paperwork. So if you voted for Mike Andrade, you voted for a good person to represent you down there for sure. So he's busy. Okay, Tattoo Lady is located in Hammond, right on Kennedy Avenue. The Tattoo Lady's been a locally owned and operated business for 23 years. Friendly, clean, amazing artists are waiting to bring your ideas to life. Whether you're a seasoned collector or looking to get your first piece, the Tattoo Lady is the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Give the Tattoo Lady a call at 219-844-9976 or send a message through their Facebook page. How was that?
It was good. Okay. It was good. I like it. We're about to
not as good as you, but
provide parking in front of the Tattoo Lady and a lot of the other businesses located over there in Kennedy. We're doing a massive traffic disruption on Kennedy. And for those of you that like to go really fast on Kennedy, coming from East Chicago to go south, or coming from south to go north, and you like to go fast through Hessville, you're going to hate this plan. But what it will do for the Tattoo Lady and all those businesses located between the 6500 and 6900 block of Kennedy is we're going to go down to 2 lanes. We're going to create lots of...
Meaning one in each direction.
One in each direction. We're going to create lots of lots of on-street parking right in front of the businesses. We're going to buy a lot of dilapidated buildings. We're going to pour, I don't know.
Well, one of the things you said yesterday, which I didn't realize was part of the plan, and it's pretty neat, is you said you want to expand the width of the sidewalks.
Yeah, that was
to allow for.
It's going to be an expensive addition to this plan, but for me, I see restaurants that want to open up between the 65 and 6900 block, and if you want to offer outdoor seating, you have to have a bigger sidewalk, and you have to be further away from the traffic. So for us to move the traffic out, we squeeze it to 2 lanes and bring the traffic more to the center of the street. We expand the sidewalks, hopefully twice as wide, and a buffer between the sidewalks and the traffic is going to be the cars that are parked along Kennedy.
Pretty neat. I mean, you're basically saying, similar to the stuff you've been talking about in downtown Hammond, but as you know, Mayor,
Right.
Hammond's got a lot of different neighborhoods, and Hessville's one of them, and they've got a small downtown.
I'm trying to steal from Mayor Dave. I listened to that show again the other day, and we do take ideas from each other. And Mayor Dave's the Crown Point Square downtown with their wide
Awesome.
sidewalks, and that's really what we're trying to emulate. So, and obviously we need to do something with Hessville because
What's going to help that area? There's a lot of good merchants there, a lot of good businesses in downtown
and there's a
Hessville.
lot of potential people who would like to open businesses, but it doesn't make a lot of sense in the current format because you can't really have a business district when the traffic's going 55, 60 miles an hour through it. And that's what's happening right now. And we're changing that. And it's going to slow things down. And people that like to go faster Hessville are going to hate this plan. And it doesn't faze me, I'll be honest with you, because you're not supposed to drive 50 miles an hour
Take
through
the
a business
boulevard,
district.
take Calumet Avenue.
That's right. Take Klein.
Yep.
By the way, the Klein Avenue Bridge is getting to open up again. $350 each way, but nonetheless, it's going to open. That's
Thank
ridiculous.
you, Mitch Daniels.
I'm telling you, if I ever become governor, I'm going to take that bridge by eminent domain and I'm going to make it a freeway like it should be.
Ew.
Well, that sounds to me
Are
like
you
a
planning?
campaign
Ever
pledge.
become governor?
When I become governor, I think is what he said. When
I'm
I
going
become
to take
governor,
I'm going to
said
take the
if.
Klein Avenue Bridge by eminent domain
John,
and I'm going to make it a freeway.
I think we need a
this is
poll.
the messaging. I think we
Put
need a
that
poll.
out.
Should Tom run for governor?
Or should Tom?
Oh,
Or
God.
should the Klein Avenue
That'd be a
Bridge be
step
free?
down for him.
Okay, there.
Yeah,
all right.
right.
Yeah, what's the poll?
Yeah.
All right.
It's bullshit.
I like this.
That it's a toll
Well,
bridge.
it's all
It really
because
is.
of what Mitch Daniels did.
It is.
I mean,
know.
it really
it's
is.
But the state could have fixed it. Holcomb could have fixed
Of
it.
course.
Pence could have fixed it.
Sure.
Well, it's not beyond our capability. You take the bridge by eminent domain.
That's right.
And then you say, okay, I'm going to pay fair market value for what the company put into it. We're going to take it. We're going to add a second lane, which is what we need, by the way. There's one lane in each direction, which is BS. It
Right.
wasn't like that before.
No.
And then you build a new one next to it, and then you open it up like a freeway. Like if it was in southern Indiana, what they would
Which
do.
is what they did over the Ohio River.
That's right.
They rebuilt that bridge.
That's right.
And by the way, that was at the time when the state had like $2 billion.
They had.
You know,
Really, the Klein Ave story is incredible.
it is.
It's stupid.
It is. And remember it's okay. We've got a little detour here.
What it did to our roads.
Yeah.
Oh, and Calumet Avenue, Indianapolis Boulevard, Klein Avenue.
Right.
How many more trucks
Right?
went on to Calumet and Indianapolis? It's amazing. We saw the traffic.
Hey,
You
something.
know,
I'm sorry.
I think this poll is kind of unfair because
Yeah.
it's 100%.
Yeah. No, I wanna
Yes,
pay.
It should be free.
Yeah. Who's our
Who's
pollster?
saying yes? I
Well,
want to pay.
Okay, so if you
No, I think
I think it should cost money. Where does that money go? I don't.
it's to the private.
It goes to the
entity.
private
Yeah.
company
Yeah,
that
to
built
pay
the
the
bridge.
bonds.
So what's the point? Like,
The point is that company is going to have like a
do
hostage.
they pay this?
Like
do they pay the state anything to have that set
No.
up?
Don't know.
No,
idea.
we're just giving them free money.
the state
Well,
saved like $100
every
million
toll road.
by not rebuilding the bridge.
That's awful.
But I think they're paying the bonds that paid to build the bridge, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Because
Yeah.
I stay off toll anything. I don't,
Not the
I don't like
Skyway?
I don't want to pay to drive
Skyway,
somewhere.
The Skyway
the
is the
Skyway.
best road.
I'm a big
ever.
fan of back roads. Living in
I am too.
Hammond, I avoid highways as much as
So you just
possible.
take US
Lindsey gets that
41
from
when you
her
go to
dad.
Chicago? What do you
I
take?
do sometimes.
No,
yeah.
I know you
take
do.
Stony. I take Stony Island.
I take Stony sometimes
into
too.
Chicago.
Lindsay and I are very similar.
My
like that.
opinion is if you take the Bishop Ford, you're taking your life in your own hands.
By the way, nowadays
By
they're
the
the
way.
shooting people on
highway
it.
going into Chicago. Oh God, it's awful. It's
The Bishop
so
Ford
scary.
is probably one of the most dangerous freeways I've ever been on.
Yeah, and it's so massive, and just people are just.
Well, that's the Dan
running
Ryan.
around.
I mean, just leading up to the Dan Ryan. The Bishop Ford is just crazy. It's
is.
crazy time.
Hey, can we talk a little bit of weed here?
Sure.
What?
Let's talk about.
But I knew I'd get your attention by
Hey,
saying that.
they're opening a dispensary in
Cal City.
Cal City. I know you had a rant on Facebook about it.
No, not a rant.
Rant.
It's like
Well-
I'm jealous. I want to open dispensaries in Hammond.
Would take advantage of
Well,
that
let's-
money.
I would love Hammond to be the first recreational city in Indiana, and we'd make money and we create jobs and we do all the stuff that everybody wants to do if they allowed us to be a legal state, just like Illinois is, just like Michigan is, just like our neighbors. Then we would be able to compete. But instead, Lindsay, people your age get into this industry and make money, and they
Yeah.
create jobs. And like, not in Indiana. Nope, we'll still
Suddenly,
arrest you.
Well, let's talk about who on election day voted to legalize marijuana, either medically or recreationally.
Well,
Oregon.
Oregon,
New Jersey.
decriminalized all drugs.
Well, they small amounts of cocaine too. But all right, let's go through this list.
Jesus,
Oregon,
man.
New Jersey, Arizona, Mississippi, Montana,
Good
South
for
Dakota.
Montana.
So this isn't just like the blue states. Or I mean,
No, these are
Mississippi.
states where there's nothing to do.
Mississippi. Yeah.
Mississippi. I would consider that a red state,
And the House just voted
Montana.
to decriminalize.
but not the
US House.
Mississippi representatives.
oh, really?
Yeah, there were 5 Democratic no. Yeah, so the House voted, the U.S. House voted to decriminalize federal marijuana convictions. 5 Democrats voted no, 6 Republicans voted yes, but none from Mississippi. Or I wonder what Montana did or South Dakota. I mean, these are states where they just voted to legalize it in the state. Yet what's going on in Congress?
No,
So,
you got to
interesting.
think about like these states that legalize it. There is literally nothing to do. Montana,
Colorado?
hike. Well, that's I mean like now
Colorado's the one that
this
started it.
last election cycle.
Arizona, New Jersey.
Arizona's lots to do, Linz.
Well,
Come on.
All right, come on.
but what
Come on.
what can you do in
off
Montana?
that
What can you
statement.
do in
Come on,
Mississippi?
man.
Go
Back off
swim in
that
a
statement.
swamp.
No, come on. There's
Come
a
on.
nice
They say
places
that
in
about Indiana,
Mississippi.
too, huh?
Yeah.
It's so hot in Mississippi.
So, U.S. House passes marijuana legislation for the first time in U.S. history. The U.S. House passed marijuana legislation. They passed sweeping legislation that would decriminalize marijuana and expunge nonviolent marijuana-related convictions. The measure is all but doomed in the Republican-led Senate.
There are 100 Democratic sponsors, one Republican sponsor from Florida. So I don't know why this is. I mean, again, it seems like stateside, it's not really a political issue. Yet when it gets into the U.S. Congress, it becomes a political issue, which is it's crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, and I thought this was interesting, right? I mean, part of the decriminalization is the whole disparate treatment that are being, you have like I forget what almost 4 times as many chances of being arrested if you're African American for marijuana as you do if you're white, even though the usage amounts are the same. I mean, like if you take a poll, who uses marijuana, whites and blacks are about the same. Yet
Right.
you got 4 times more of a chance of being arrested if you're black with marijuana than you do if you're white.
One of the things I did a lot of when I was a lawyer, Kevin, was I represented thousands of clients as a public defender. Okay. And I saw hundreds and hundreds of marijuana related cases come through as a public defender. And it was never like suburban, white, wealthier kids that were needing my services. It was always young African American, poor kids. It was young Hispanic, poor kids, or young white, poor kids. It's poor kids, mostly, in my opinion. Poor people that aren't sophisticated enough to know about getting lawyers and to help themselves, and then they end up with a black mark on their record, a marijuana-related conviction.
Yeah.
And then you're going,
Non-violent.
Gotta get a job,
to
or try to go to college.
Right. So I'm a good student and I want to go to Notre Dame, and they're like, "You convicted of any crime?" "Oh yeah, I got this marijuana conviction." You're out.
Yep.
Notre Dame's not going to take that, right?
Or they're going to be like, you know what, we're going to take this kid that doesn't have
That's
the
right.
same scores,
Right.
same school. We're going to take this guy that doesn't have a marijuana
And that
conviction.
kid that doesn't have a marijuana conviction could have grown up in Colorado and have an unfair advantage. He also smokes weed, right? He also did marijuana
but
like
he can't
the kid
be
from
convicted because
That's
it's
right.
legal. Good
'Cause
point.
it's legal.
That's a very good point.
That's exactly it. It's
so
like,
here's another story. When I was doing, it's called CJA, Criminal Justice Act. It's kind of like public defender in the federal courts. There was this law that it was the difference between crack cocaine and powder cocaine.
Yeah.
So think about this, right?
5 to 1.
Crack cocaine was prevalent in lower socioeconomic areas and a lot in African American areas. That was a problem, right? Powder cocaine, you think of like a rich man, right? Like Wolf of Wall Street drug, right?
Right.
And so if you got convicted, and so obviously crack cocaine's heavier, right? Just by weight, because it's solid, it's not in this powder. When you got convicted of crack cocaine, you do like 10 years.
right.
And if you got convicted of powder cocaine, it'd be like 18 months.
Right.
It's crazy.
You
and
sure
they
know
fixed
a lot
it.
about cocaine.
They
Kevin.
fixed it.
No,
Well,
that's a problem in the
John,
federal
defending,
system.
because I would make those arguments.
Kevin,
right?
that was when I worked at the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yeah.
That was a huge argument.
issue. And they
Is that-
fixed it
that's
finally.
still-
They
they
fixed
did.
it. They
Right.
fixed it. But I mean, all that time, think about the people
Right.
who got convicted.
That's right. Because at the time those laws came out, crack was like blowing up in the urban areas. It was so like
Absolutely.
late 80s, early 90s.
Absolutely.
And it was a major scourge. Crack was the big problem at the time. And in order to crack down on...
Crack down on crack.
Crack down on crack,
That
right?
should have been the theme.
I know. In order to do that, they proposed this extra penalty. But for all the bankers and all the stockbrokers and all that were doing regular cocaine, they could get caught with massive amounts and get a slap on the wrist.
It wasn't as.
And if you're a kid in Detroit that got caught with a rock of crack, you're going to federal prison. And
was
federal
bad.
prison
Wow.
ain't no
It
joke.
was bad. And I'm not trying to. I mean, this is a Democratic problem too. I mean, and it was a big thing. The
that was
big crime
Bill
bill,
Clinton.
Bill
That was
Clinton's crime
Bill
bill,
Clinton.
94 crime bill. So this just goes to show you, we're not trying to say it's like a blue or a red issue. It's just these things have to be corrected, and I think marijuana is the next thing that needs to be corrected. It shouldn't be political.
I agree with you, Kevin. Let me tell you another problem while we're talking about drugs. I had a good friend of mine, not a good friend, somebody I knew fairly well that passed away after doing cocaine because there was fentanyl in it.
Yep.
And I know this as mayor. Wow. We regularly have fatalities in Hammond. I don't know, once or twice a month. We have a fatality in Hammond with people that are doing cocaine that's laced with fentanyl, and they don't realize it, and then they die, right?
Yep.
And like, I'm not saying that cocaine should be legalized. I'm not. Okay. But like, there's a problem because people are still going to do cocaine. They're still going to do heroin, and there's no quality control at all. You're leaving it up to some drug dealer to mix your cocaine And then when you do that line, if there's too much fentanyl in there, it's just too bad. You're going to die. There's something to be said about the states.
It should be monitored. It should be
right. Where if you're going to do
control.
cocaine, you go to some federal store, so to speak, and
Man.
they give you something that's regulated. There's something to be said about that, because it's not like people are going to stop doing cocaine and heroin.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't advocate cocaine and heroin at all. I think they're the kind of drugs that you will die if you do them. And would never.
Well,
But like,
just
there's
remember-
something to be said about that, because people are still doing it.
I want everybody to know the mayor's taken a pretty big leadership role in the opioid litigation. I mean, he signed up Hammond. He signed up, and not every city signed up for it, but he's involved in the multi-state litigation that's sitting in Ohio.
They're talking
right
about
now.
settling that now, right?
Yeah, they're working on it. So I think one of the things you said initially was, I want to get involved in this. It's a problem. Our firemen and our policemen are dealing with having to do Narcan on people
Every day.
all the time.
Every day.
And that's an expense to the city, and you care about the people that have addiction issues, and you want to make sure this is resolved.
It's right. Like, we put our hand in the sand and we just act like, okay, if you do cocaine, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, let's think. I bet you 15 to 20% of Americans have done or are doing coke. I don't know.
Is it that high?
I don't know. Is it? I'm ignorant on this. I don't do it.
Well, it's not like they can get accurate results.
Lindsey?
Like
What do you think?
So one of us in this room is doing cocaine. Is that what you're saying?
I said 20%.
So we need one
technically,
more
no.
person come in, then it'll be.
One
When
of
Dave
us is-
Uran was here, one of the five.
One of us is a
Come in here.
cokehead. Okay, so let's say it's 10%. Okay, let's say it's 10%.
Gotta be John.
No
Yeah.
way.
You got to
dude.
be, yeah.
No
like,
way.
You could tell cokeheads. You got to be super skinny and like wiry.
All right.
Well, that's
Well,
crack.
none of us.
Coke
Yeah,
is-
we're all out.
It's like,
Yeah, we're all okay. We're out. Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about Oregon decriminalizing drugs? It's not legal.
I
Like
don't
what
think they
drugs?
decriminalized
Okay,
it,
because
Lynn.
no, they did. They
Psilocybin?
decriminalized it so they could focus more on treatment of addiction.
I agree with that.
I need to
Rather
look at
than
That goes to where I was.
prosecuting.
I agree with you, Lindsay. That goes back to what I just said. Is in Hammond, every day I get a text about an overdose. Every day. It doesn't mean somebody died. It means that our first responders had to respond and give them Narcan, or sometimes they wake themselves up. Sometimes we wake them up with the shot or the spray. And then every once in a while you get the fatality. But that's a problem. And it's not. By the way, if you smoke a big thing of marijuana, you don't drop dead, because they can't spike marijuana because it's a plant. But you have these substances that people are mixing,
Well,
cocaine
I'm sure
and
you
heroin.
could spike marijuana if you tried.
So what they did in Oregon is they passed Measure 110, which decriminalized the possession and personal use of all drugs. So small amounts of any drug, like heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, will no longer be punishable by jail time, but will be ticketed.
So
like
it
a
will
traffic
keep
ticket.
people
Where do
out
you
of
get it?
jail.
It still hasn't gotten to it, because like in the
No,
Netherlands,
it's not legal. Like
Right,
you'd
okay.
still get
Not
me
legal.
legally.
because like in Europe, you could go to, like, if you're a heroin addict, I know that they have these dispensaries that literally
For
give
heroin?
you. Yeah,
Wow.
well,
Yeah,
you
but it's
don't
clean.
buy. You don't.
you don't.
In Amsterdam, you can buy heroin.
I forgot where it is. I'm not. An
It's
expert on it.
Amsterdam. Everything is legal in Amsterdam.
That's my
Is that
daughter.
right? Have
My
you
daughter
been there?
knows a lot about heroin. You
Have
notice
you
that?
been to Amsterdam?
Huh? Yeah, I've been to Amsterdam.
On Navy?
Yeah,
Like a port of call?
that's where I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers the first time. By the way,
In Amsterdam.
yeah.
What?
That's cool.
That's a story.
How about that?
Let's
That's
hear
a story in
that.
itself.
I was the only person in the whole audience not smoking weed. By the way,
Because you were in the military.
I didn't
you
know who
ran
they
out.
were. By the way, this is back when Red Hot Chili Peppers were naked and they wore
with a
tube
sock,
socks,
the
tube
sock
socks
on their
on their genitalia.
piece.
Right.
Well, yeah, because Dad spent so much
their
time
member.
in the underwater in a tube that he every time he would come up from the water, he would discover some new pop culture thing.
Yeah.
Like the
So like
Simpsons.
he came back and suddenly the Simpsons were a big
Yeah,
deal. He came
true
back
story.
and suddenly Red Hot Chili Peppers were a big deal. Like
Yeah.
You're
It's
really
like
into
a
the
naked
tube.
band. I gotta go see them in
Yeah.
You're like,
Amsterdam.
what?
I heard about
a band's
that.
naked with a sock on their member?
Yeah, that was all me. I thought they were pretty crazy, but
They
but
are, and
so-
they're good, by the way.
and now it's your
Love
favorite
them.
band.
I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're great.
Jill said cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That was in a movie, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
gotta
that was a
be.
movie. That's
Jill's
a movie
good
line.
about doing movie
No,
quotes.
that's a movie line. I forgot. Yeah, but like, okay, how about this? In Colorado, they legalized like a year ago mushrooms or psilocybin, which is sort of a head scratcher for me. It's like, huh? I mean,
What is
great
it?
Psilocybin, magic mushrooms.
right? So like, obviously, if you're going to see the Grateful Dead, you want to go there. So like,
illegal.
I mean, the Grateful Dead's just going to like park in Colorado
Whereas
now,
a kid in
right?
Indiana, there goes his college career
Oh,
for having
dude,
mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, that's a felony, man. You're going to federal prison if you get caught, even with the single.
about that.
Oh no.
I mean, I never thought about the point you
Yeah,
made.
it's like-
that if you're in Colorado and you want to do mushrooms or you want to do weed or whatever, you can go around and do it as a teenager, or you have to be 18. I don't know.
I mean, you have to be
18
adult.
probably, right?
21.
Or
I'm
21.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
but and somebody over here, you
if
got
you
a
get caught,
conviction.
you're not going to Notre Dame.
Crazy.
I cannot believe the poll results right now I have going. Should drugs like cocaine be decriminalized? It's completely split right now. 50-50.
Really?
50-50.
But cocaine is going to draw a different. Like if you said
Yeah,
marijuana,
I would almost be a no on that.
No, when I did a marijuana one, it was like pretty
Should
much
we-
100%.
Well, there's a difference,
decriminalize it.
and I think a lot of people don't realize there's a difference between legalize and decriminalize.
Agreed.
right?
Legalized means you can go to a store and you can buy it and it's legal.
Right.
Decriminalized means if you get caught with it, you won't go to jail.
See where I am on cocaine,
Or at
is
least you'll get ticketed.
if cocaine, I don't think it should be legal personally.
Agreed.
But I am concerned about the fact that people are still doing it and they're dying from it. So like that concerns me, and something I think the federal government has a role in that. I just do.
So does the decriminalization though encourage people to be users then? Because there's no
Probably.
Is there no deterrent effect on
What
having
about-
enough for
that's what I'm
personal
saying.
use?
What about making the consequence even harsher?
Jeez,
What?
we're going backwards.
Because that definitely.
War on- war on
my
drugs.
that's my
Is that where you're at?
inclination is like
Who is
no,
it, Nancy Reagan over there?
Decriminalize it. We have to make the consequence
She
even
was skinny
harsher.
enough
Well,
to be a
but
cocaine
like the
user.
death
She
penalty doesn't dissuade murder from happening. So why would harsher consequences?
It
for-
dissuades me.
I would exactly. I would think if
Hell
there wasn't
yeah.
a death penalty, there would probably be more murder.
I bet you cocaine's not a huge problem in Saudi Arabia.
I don't think.
Does Saudi Arabia have a huge cocaine problem?
That is
I
the
doubt
show
it.
title today,
Right? 'Cause,
Cocaine
like-
is not a huge problem in Saudi Arabia.
It is not a huge problem because they'll cut
They
your
cut your
freaking
hand
nose
off
off,
or
right?
something, yeah.
They'll cut your damn hand off. You're like, oh, I enjoy my hands, right? I'm
So,
not
I mean,
going to do
that-
cocaine.
That's an interesting point. Is decriminalization give you more incentive to use? I mean, I think it might. We'll see what happens in Oregon.
Well, I tell you what, I know people that don't smoke weed because it's illegal, straight up. I just know people that are like good citizens like that, and they're just like, no, if it was ever legal, you could talk to me about
Take me
it.
to Colorado.
Right. Well, I don't even know. I know some people that would never go to Colorado, even if it's legal there, because it's federally illegal.
We wouldn't go to Colorado?
No, they wouldn't smoke weed even if they were in Colorado because federally it's still illegal. I know a lot
interesting.
of people like that are just good citizens, and they're like, so like even if it's legal in Illinois, I know a lot of people that wouldn't even do a gummy in Illinois.
Well, yeah. I mean,
gummy.
going into the medical field as
Gummy.
a nurse,
Someone
if
should
you
bring
were to
those
go
in
to
as
Illinois
gifts.
and you smoked weed and you came back and you tested positive for marijuana, you would lose your job.
See, these are the things I have a problem with. A big problem with that.
Well, because
Because
the
nurses
laws are
and-
different all
That's
over
what
the
I'm-
place.
I have a problem
That's why
with
the
that.
federal
You gotta have
government has to act.
consistency.
I agree with you.
Yes.
That's where the federal
Yes.
government. By the way,
Yes.
so what is the percentage of Americans that smoke weed? At least within the last 2 months. Let me ask you guys. your opinion.
2/3.
Do you want me to
30%.
Google it? Like,
That's it.
you
You think
think
like a bunch of like
30%?
or
You
Did
think
you say
30%?
I
2/3
was
of
thinking like
Americans
2/3. Yeah.
have smoked weed in the last
Yes.
no
2
way.
months, I said.
No way. 30%.
30%. What do you think, Lindsay?
All right. Shit. Maybe that's high. Half. 50%.
What do you think, Lindsay?
month? I'd say like 40%. I think it's
My
like
daughter
in
and
the
I see the
middle.
world the same way.
What do
I'm
you
going to
say?
go with 40%.
All right.
John's
John's on the high side. John's
John's
like
on
everybody.
67%.
No, John's like
Everybody's
everybody's smoking
high.
weed.
Everybody's
I
high.
think after this year,
like,
more
goddamn,
people are
John.
smoking weed. That's
Well, yeah,
what I
they're
was
stuck
thinking.
at home. So
John's
if you
like
can afford it,
67%
get
of
it.
all
True.
adults are smoking weed in John's
It's
world.
like
What
everyone's
kind of-
stoned. No wonder this economy
Dude,
sucks.
no wonder Trump lost. Everybody's freaking high.
Well, no, they want more people high so that they don't go vote. Right?
I think more people smoke weed than we know about. Is what like that they just don't talk about.
Secret smoker?
Yes,
I'm just
absolutely.
thinking like all these I mean, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, sure, secret smokers, but I'm thinking like all these, conservative Christians or like, I mean, I'm sure there's
I
some
think
that are
there's a
still
lot of
smoking
conservative
weed.
Christians are smoking
And
weed.
older people are like 80-year-old women smoking weed.
Yes.
A
Yes,
lot of them?
No,
yes,
they
I
do
think
gummies.
so.
The gummies are.
I
it
agree
allows
with
you
you,
to
Tom.
hide. You throw a gummy down, there's no smell.
I think it depends on state
nothing
by
associated.
state. Probably, Northern California.
I think the
Maybe a
people
lot of-
telling you not to smoke weed are smoking weed.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me.
No
Yeah,
way.
that doesn't
dude.
surprise
You're
me
not-
at all.
If you're a weed smoker, you're not harshing other people's vibe.
I mean,
It's like the preacher up there saying,
Don't be
"Everybody
harshing
don't
my
do
vibe,
this," and
man.
he's doing it.
Hey, man, don't
like
be harshing my vibe, man.
family values.
If
Yeah.
you're, yeah.
All right.
I don't know what we did for you guys today in
I don't
Northwest
either.
Indiana and across the country and in Belgium. I don't know if this was a good show or a shitty show. Basically, we just
We were
come
all
in the
over the
studio
place.
and just start bullshitting with each other. I hope you guys enjoy our show.
2/3 of us were high this morning.
Yeah.
and one of us was doing cocaine.
Yeah. No. We went down to 20%, and that excludes all of us. We all concluded we're all too fat to do cocaine also.
Yes,
so,
we did conclude that.
Yes,
See, these are
so-
big conclusions.
yeah,
we've
so,
reached.
yeah. It's good.
You can
It's a
say a lot
therapy
about me, but
session.
I never did cocaine.
Yeah, right. it's obvious.
Just look at me.
You're like, do you think I'm a cokehead? They look at me. No,
No.
you're too fat. Okay.
All right, Mayor. Well,
I've
lot
never
of
met
fun.
a fat cokehead. Have you?
I don't know. Yes, probably.
If you're a fat cokehead,
okay, wait.
you're like-
Wait. What about like Saturday Night Live?
Tall
Good
us.
title, too.
Yeah, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley.
He's dead.
But he was a fat cokehead.
I've never met him.
Well, okay, fair enough. Oh God. We're into a literalist.
So what should be the title today? I've never met a fat cokehead, or
Yes.
cocaine is not a huge problem in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know. Do a poll.
Both good.
It's
Oh,
tough.
Both good.
what was the other one? There's something about crack.
All right, we'll look
go back
through
and
it.
listen to it.
Everybody,
Look
thanks for
through it.
listening to whatever this was. I think it was LOC Pod on
LOC Pod.
Tuesday.
Thank you, Belgium. By the way, Mayor Hogshead on Friday. We're not going to talk about cocaine and all
No,
that stuff.
you got
on
it all out of
Friday.
your system, didn't
we
you?
got it all out. We're going to be on our best behavior for Mayor Joe Hogshead show on Friday.
Mayor Joe, we'll see you on Friday.
Thanks to everybody for watching and listening to LOC Pod. Thanks to Lindsey. Thanks to John. Thanks to Kevin from Tom, your mayor. Not necessarily, but anyway. Thanks for listening to LOC Pod. Take it easy, everybody.